People need help with acquiring and maintaining housing. This next section will focus on our role supporting people with housing needs. Case managers, PACT, ACCS, and respite staff are most likely to provide direct support for housing needs. Individuals getting housing supports should also have access to peer supports.
I was given different verbal and environmental messages throughout my time in the system that were discouraging to me and made me start to believe that I could only live a life that was managing illness versus thriving and enjoying my life and having joy. And I believe that I would be on therapy and psych meds forever. So I kind of had this negative view of myself. But this wasn't insurmountable. All I needed was just a little bit of help. I needed people who could remind me of my capabilities without judging me. I needed people in my life to help me tap into the skills that I either hadn't learned or hadn't used before. So, for example, how do I write a rent check? What do I do if my shower is leaking? These things may sound small when I say them here, but for me, it really was a toolbox, a collection of all these little skills that slowly helped me build a sustainable life outside the system. And again, peer support was a huge part of me believing these things for myself.
Most affordable housing in Massachusetts is funded through the federal government. Federal Section 8, also known as the Housing Choice Voucher Program, is a primary federally funded program in Massachusetts and across the country. Massachusetts, however, is somewhat unique among the states in funding its own subsidy programs and ensuring that more people in need gain access to affordable housing. These include general subsidies such as State Mass Rental Voucher Program, or MRVP. These are not DMH-specific subsidies, but people we serve can also access them. DMH facilitates access to a variety of housing resources. Most clients in need of housing will access housing through the DMH Rental Subsidy Program, but other programs exist that also support DMH clients' housing needs. Your housing coordinator is a go-to resource to see if other programs might be available for a client you are supporting. The DMH-specific subsidy program is DMH Rental Subsidy Program, or DMH RSP, and has been expanded by some 400% over 12 years to provide housing opportunities for clients. As a DMH resource, this subsidy operates outside of the traditional subsidy programs. The subsidy is designed to serve the unique needs of the DMH clients, building in a range of supports. DMH co-administers the DMH-specific subsidies. The guidance and regulations are designed to make the process easier for DMH clients to secure subsidies for housing. Your housing coordinator is a key resource to help facilitate access to these programs. The DMH Rental Subsidy Program can pay 110% of fair market rent. Clients contribute 30% of their adjusted income towards rent. There's no wait list to get on. Accessing units in the community is financially feasible for clients who generally have earnings at 15% of the area median income. The DMH Rental Subsidy Program enables clients to secure housing that promotes self-determination and recovery through providing them choices of affordable places to live. Sponsor-based rental subsidy program assigns the lease to the provider. The client resident is not a legal tenant, but is given access to the unit under the terms of an occupancy agreement. Tenant-based rental subsidy program assigns the lease to the client with the agreement that they engage in DMH services. The client is the legal tenant who in addition signs a participation agreement outlining requirements and responsibilities.
Without the DMH RSP, finding an affordable apartment is out of reach for our clients receiving Social Security, as rents for single bedrooms where we are typically $500 or more than individuals receive through SSI. And what the beautiful thing about the DMH RSP is that it allows us to really have a continuum of care where people might start at respite or residential, and then they can move with a sponsor-based subsidy into an apartment. And what we've seen over time is that what's really great is that they'll go from residential to sponsor-based and then tenant-based. So I think that's another aspect of this, is that it allows for flow through our system so that we can house or we can situate new clients, find housing for them, whether it's residential and respite, and then move them to greater levels of independence.
That relationship we form with landlords is crucial for other people. So, for our network at Advocates, we have over 60 landlords that we work with in the community. So those landlords know that we're not only the leaseholder, but we're there to help problem solve. And when units become available, they'll call us and say, hey, we have a unit available. That alone helps to house people. And that is in part because of how the voucher's set up.
Time for a knowledge check. Which housing subsidy has no wait list and is a resource dedicated to clients? A. Alternative Housing Voucher Program. B. Section 8 Housing Voucher. C. DMH Rental Subsidy Program. Or D. Mass Rental Voucher Program. For more information about the DMH Rental Subsidy Program, see the DMH Rental Subsidy Program module. Clients accessing housing through DMH also receive ongoing supports that are client-centered and flexible. These supports can be provided by case management staff, contracted service providers, and peers. People accessing housing through the DMH Rental Subsidy Program have an occupancy or participation agreement that helps define the necessary supports an individual will need to support their continued tenancy. By accessing ongoing supports, any risks for losing tenancy can be identified early and mitigated, and clients will be able to be supported toward additional goals that may have been out of reach without housing. While clinical and housing services are distinct, they are also interrelated and must be closely coordinated through promotion of regular and consistent communication between clinical and housing staff, as additional needs for support to maintain tenancy are identified.
So I'm thinking about kind of these four main components that really were a success for me, helped me stay successful in my housing: encouragement, support, connection, and motivation. So with encouragement, that for me was targeting and overcoming the fear that I had. For support, it was gathering these practical living skills that we all kind of need to be successful on our own. The biggest thing was connection. So like kind of maintaining and creating community relationships. And then this last piece around motivation. What are the things that kind of get me up in the morning? What are the things that make me dedicated to maintaining my housing, keeping that going? Keeping my housing is really easy now because of the way that my supports have grown over time. I now have the incentive to keep my housing due to the benefits of the life I've created. I want to pay my rent on time because I love my apartment and I don't want to lose it. There are many other things that aided me on my journey. It's for wellness and stable housing, but I'll just kind of end with reiterating that it took an entire community for me to remain successful. And I'm forever grateful to the people and resources that helped me thrive.
Thank you for participating in Housing 101 for the Department of Mental Health. See the resource list or speak to your housing coordinator for more information about these topics.